Hello, my doodly dudes. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful Sunday morning. So, I'm coming at you with another daily trick to have an awesome life and to feel happy and positive and all these great things. And what I'm practicing today is acceptance, radical acceptance. The premise for this is that I've always lived in apartments and had neighbors that have been really challenging. It's gotten a lot better over the years, but man, I have had some real pieces of work living next door to me, living above me, living in the basement below me. And it's fucking stressful. Like, I'm the kind of person who I'm introverted, I'm really quiet most of the time. I prefer solitude and writing and thinking and reading and quiet things, you know? And if I do feel like being loud, that's what I feel like doing. I definitely don't want to hear other people living their lives and yelling at their partners or smashing things. Like, I haven't always been in the best financial situations either, so I've had to live in some neighborhoods where there was some really shady shit happening involving drugs and a million people in and out of a place. And so yeah, I have a lot of stress built up around this. And so it's been getting better. But I live in a place currently that is an old house and it's divided into 3 units. And I had issues with the other 2 units the whole time I've lived here, basically. And then everyone moved out and it was just me in here, and it's been really nice. And now I have new neighbors in one of the units. And right away, like, I don't know anything about them. I can hear them, but it's nothing excessive. It's just kind of the nature of this place is the walls are really thin. I remember the last people, I could hear their dog's toenails on the floor. So I'm like, okay, a lot of this is just me. Like, people get to live their lives and I can't freak out just because I can hear them. But what was happening is my brain was just going ape shit. And I was feeling all these physical feelings of anxiety and stress and fear and worry and rage. And it's something that I've been working on. It's like my biggest bugaboo in recovery. It's the thing that I just keep having to like intentionally work on. I see a therapist and I talk about this and I talk about it with my sponsor and I share about it in meetings and I journal about it and I intentionally take on practices that will help shift things around in me. Because what I'm learning is that it's always about me. All the stuff that I'm sharing with you, all the different books and teachings and all that shit, it all comes down to the thoughts that I'm telling myself. And it's real easy to look around me and just blame other people. Like, well, if this dude didn't come home at 2 a.m. and start blasting music with this huge subwoofer right by my bedroom wall, I'd be happier. And it seems really easy to believe that's the truth, but it's really the thoughts that I'm telling myself. I cannot change other people. I can only change myself. And when I start getting freaked out and stressed out and feeling trapped, that's because something's going on with me. And I think the best superpower and the thing that I strive for and the thing that I'm most trying to attain, one of the things is the sense of inner peace that nobody can fuck with. Because no matter where I go, there's always going to be a reason to get pulled outside of my serenity and to blame external circumstances. And that's no way to live. Like, that gives all my power to the outside world. And I don't believe it has to be that way. So that's why I do this work. And like, I decide that I'm going to look at things differently and be calmer. And so one of the tools that I found that has just been incredible, a huge gift, is Byron Katie and The Work. She calls it The Work. And here's her book. This is the first book that I got of hers. It's a classic. And I'm turning right back to it because I've made a commitment. So I'm in this place at least until November now. And I've just decided, it's a decision, I've got a video about that too, that I am not going to try to change anyone in this place, no matter what happens. And there's a lot of fear that comes up with deciding that and practicing acceptance, because for me, I felt, well, what does that mean? I'm going to be a doormat. Does that just mean anyone can do anything to me forever and I just have to put up with it? And that's a really big misunderstanding with acceptance. And trying to explain acceptance in 4 minutes plus is tricky, but I will share one thing from this book that I think is really helpful and kind of sums it up, the difference between practicing radical acceptance and just letting whatever happen to you, like a victim or something. So she talks about it being more empowering. So if you're talking that, like, something is happening, right? Like, if I can hear my neighbors, or like, that's reality, it's happening. And we always want to say it shouldn't be happening, but it is. And so, which is more empowering? In this example, she's talking about losing a job, saying, I wish I hadn't lost my job, or I lost my job. What can I do now? And that's the key. So that's the difference between acceptance and passivity. One, acceptance is about, okay, this is what's happening, now what? Versus like, oh my God, this is happening to me and I wish it wasn't. And that's the place that I was with noisy neighbors for a long time, was like, it shouldn't be happening. They shouldn't be like this. I'm quiet. Why aren't they quiet? You know, that's all very stressful. It takes away all my power. So it just says that the work reveals that what you think shouldn't have happened should have happened. It should have happened because it did, or because it is. And no thinking in the world can change that. And really, if I go bang on doors and like talk to people, sometimes I can get them to change, but it's always done like resentfully. And then there's always this weird guilt. And then I'm like, do I want to be that lady? I don't want to be that kind of person. I'd rather just deal with it on my own side of the street. It doesn't mean that you condone or approve of it. It just means that you can see things without resistance and without the confusion of your inner struggle. And if you can take away all that confusion and that resistance, you're much more empowered to make moves that serve you, and you can think of better solutions. Maybe now I can start thinking about ways to really get my income where I want it to be so I could move and start thinking about buying my own house and not having to share walls. Who knows? But I know that I can't think of solution when I'm just freaking out and arguing with reality. So this one a little long. It's a big topic. I'll probably talk about it more. But I hope this helped. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you tomorrow. Adios.